Sometimes I think people think covering the Denver Nuggets is always fun. It's always exciting to watch Jokic and Murray and Porter and Gordon and the rest of the people. And again, it is. It's a lot of fun. Trust me, I get it. Like, it's an honor and a privilege every single day. But we've been watching the Denver Nuggets, Nikola Jokic and them for the last several years. We knew better. We knew better. We knew that this is the kind of game that you're going to get for them. The Nuggets playing versus the hampered team in the division after already being 11-2. We knew what was going to happen, y'all. But again, the good news is the Denver Nuggets got the victory, even with a valiant effort for the Minnesota Timberwolves that I think their fans, their media, and their players are going to feel confident versus the Nuggets if they get Rudy Gobert, Naz Reid, and Karl Anthony Towns back. But just a really, really, really ugly game, hard-fought game for both of these teams. But we got to tap into some of the good details because Nikola Jokic, Michael Porter Jr., they had spectacular games, carried the Denver Nuggets to a victory, even in a little bit of a tussle and a fight. Let's talk about it, y'all. Let's get it. The Denver Nuggets beat the Minnesota Timberwolves 115-112 in, honestly, a game that was even more tense than the Dallas Mavericks game for me. It was even more tense than the Phoenix Suns game for me. It was even more tense than the Boston Celtics game for me, in which they won. The Denver Nuggets were in complete control throughout the entire game versus Boston because when Denver decides to take advantage of the moment and that they want to get a victory, they're going to do whatever it takes. And they show up big in those matchups. And today versus the Minnesota Timberwolves, they might have thought that the Timberwolves were just going to try to get out of the matchup in Minnesota. They thought they were just going to try to get out of here and squeeze out of here when they're up 15 at the half. Minnesota, that's not the way it works. Again, if any of y'all are football fans, this is Chiefs Broncos. This is Chiefs Raiders. This is Broncos Chargers. When you get a division game, you don't take those things lightly. You do not take those things lightly because the fact of the matter is, man, they try to eat everything that's on your plate. I want every bit of your lunch. I want your sandwich. I want your chips. I want the cookie. I want the drink. I want your utensils. I want it all. That's what division games are like. And so you get in this moment today, and everybody is kind of like, all right, bet. No Nas, no Rudy, no Cat. Jokic gets, he got Kyle Anderson in foul trouble immediately. Kyle Anderson had 3 fouls, y'all, through the first 3 minutes of the game. Luke Garza gets another foul call with 8 minutes left in the game. And Kyle Anderson, he leaves the game with 3 personal fouls. Didn't get another foul call the rest of the game. So the Wolves, they changed up what they were supposed to do. They were blitzing Jamal Murray. They were blitzing Jamal Murray, Rob. That's not your cheese, bro. My cheese. Look, I'm telling y'all, man, that's just the way. Hey, William, Thanksgiving dish. I want it all. He said they wanted it all. Yo, look, now Tess, check me out. Just check me out. Look at this. Yeah, I'm talking. Yo, we getting this set up. We moving all the way up, man. We getting up there. We getting up there. But look, the Denver Nuggets get a victory, 115-112. I'll tell you, my immediate response is cool. Great. I'm glad y'all won. 48-21. Keep it moving. 48-21. Keep it moving. They play the New York Knicks in a couple of days. The big news is the overarching news on the road trip, they go 3-1. Despite the circumstances. And the loss they lost because Jamal Murray missed a pull-up too, and Kyrie Irving made one of the best game winners that you're going to see. It's that simple. That's why they lost. They could have been 4-0, but they didn't due to Kyrie and due to Luka. But, y'all, this is the NBA. You just seen the Dallas Mavericks after beating the Nuggets. 2 days later, they struggle versus the Spurs. Luka can't make nothing. Kyrie closes the game out. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's what basketball is. It's just difficult. It's hard to get a victory. It's hard to get these wins. Sometimes you just gotta absolutely give everything that you have just to squeeze out the easiest possible victory. We saw the Lakers. We seen the Lakers versus the Wizards. We saw the Lakers and the Charlotte Hornets have to go blow for blow down the stretch of the fourth quarter. Remember, the Denver Nuggets played Charlotte. Nick Smith Jr. was hitting buckets, multiple back-to-back shots. But that's what it takes sometimes. Like, that's the NBA. And again, shout out to Minnie. And I think for me, it's like the Nuggets were up 15 at the half. It's like, all right, cool. What they going to do coming out the third? And Michael Porter Jr. talked about it. He said, sometimes we come out of the half, we just don't have the energy. We don't have the energy we need to have. And that's exactly what happened. They did not have the energy. Minnesota goes on like a 7-0 run. Minnesota went on an 8-0 run to start the half. Murray has a 2-pointer that he makes. Minnesota goes on an 8-0 run. Jamal Murray makes a 3. And basically from the start of the quarter, Minnesota went on a 17-5 run. 17-5 run. And the Denver Nuggets let them score on the first 12 of their first 16 possessions in the third quarter. If they just scored 2 points on every one of those possessions, that's a 175 offensive rating. They just didn't show any resistance at all. And what they did, Minnesota was really smart. They took Jokic out of the game as much as they could. And they basically said, cool, we're going to zone up. We're going to front everything. We're going to switch everything. And we're going to make it as difficult as possible. Jokic, you got to catch the ball away from the rim. You got to catch the ball away from the rim. We're going to make everybody else work. And the Denver Nuggets, man, the only reason they won that quarter at all is because they lost the quarter. They were minus 12, just to be clear. They were minus 12 in that quarter. The only reason they won the quarter is because KCP got a 3-point shot off of a steal on Anthony Edwards. That was an impeccable steal, just an impeccable steal by one of the best defenders in the NBA. And I think for me, it's plays like that. It's plays like that lets you know that this is he's just one of the best defenders in the league. He deserves he deserves all defense somewhere. He deserved one of the all defensive awards here. It was an insane Anthony Edwards, top of the base, top of the line, top of the key, trying to head between, steal by KCP. KCP gets the steal, stops at the 3-point line. Everybody runs past to try to protect the rim from Joker and them, and he hits the 3 in transition. They're up 87-84. And then you get in the fourth quarter, y'all, and it was bad. The Denver Nuggets got down 4 at one point. Luke Garza was at the 3-point line. Luka Garza, obviously, but Luke was at the 3-point line. And it was not looking good. The Denver Nuggets got down 4. Jokic comes back in the game. Porter comes back in the game. And wouldn't you believe? And again, I want to also, I understand Minnesota Timberwolves fan. You're absolutely right. There's 2, Rob. There's just 2. That's why it's so hard to make. You basically get 4 guards. You basically get 4 guards, 4 forwards, and you can switch it up a little bit sometimes, and you get a big. So it's really difficult to make that. Y'all, but look, again, I understand. Minnesota, you absolutely did not have your players. So I want to acknowledge that. I'll never shy away from that. Absolutely 1,000%. But at the end of the day, players got to show up. And y'all, this is Statsman, real Statsman. In the fourth quarter, Michael Porter Jr. scored 13 points in the fourth quarter. That ties the second most he's ever scored in the fourth quarter. Michael Porter Jr. was 4-4 from the field and 2 of 2 from 3. Nikola Jokic scored 9 points in the fourth. He was 3 of 3 from the field, including a great post-up, and he was 2 of 2 from the 3-point line. Jokic also had 200 games with 3+ assists, 200 straight games with 3+ assists. He had just 2 tonight. They absolutely tried to clamp off the passing. And again, the Nuggets would adjust in a playoff setting. They wouldn't let Joker just be in a situation where he can't play make. He averaged 9 assists versus them last year. Remember, and again, similar to Miami, he averaged 9 assists in the series versus the Timberwolves because they were pressuring like crazy. He averaged 7 assists in the finals versus Miami because they were pressuring like crazy. They're the 2 teams that have the best ability to just pressure Joker whenever. The Celtics can't do it. The Lakers can't do it. The Suns definitely can't do it. But they can offer that. They can offer that kind of resistance. And again, Brad Hicks is right. Marchitis is to say it felt like the same thing. It literally, and I said this on Twitter, it felt like the same thing. It's like this team is like, all right, cool, we did enough. All right, okay, let's just coast. Let's just coast the rest of this game. Hopefully it's enough. It wasn't enough. And again, Jules, I disagree with this, like personally, because again, if everybody was fully healthy, they wouldn't have approached the game like that. That's the point. That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. That's where the frustration comes from. They approached the game like that because they could. And then shout out to you, the super chat left for you 12 $5 super chat. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Michael, just add water. Porter Jr. instant offense. Again, man, he was incredible. Michael Porter Jr. tonight. 26 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 9 of 15 from the field. 9 of 15 from the field. 4 of 5 from the free throw line. Huge free throws that he made. He was a +8 in this game. Nikola Jokic, 35 points, 16 rebounds, just 2 assists, 14 of 22 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3. Jokic was 11 of 18 from 2, 3 of 4 from 3, 4 of 6 from the free throw line. Did have 3 turnovers today. But he was a +8 in this game. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, 9 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 of 6 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3. Big shots from KCP, 1-1 from the free throw line, a block, 2 steals on Ant, I believe, both of them on Anthony Edwards, and he was also a +8. Aaron Gordon had 14, 11, and 2, but him and Jamal Murray were staggering in the second quarter, but also at the top of the fourth quarter, and the Nuggets lost their lead in that moment. And Jamal Murray had 18 points and 11 assists, 4 rebounds. He was a -11, though. And Aaron Gordon had 14, 11, and 2. He was a -14. They were both anchoring that bench unit. There was no Zeke Naji today, so Aaron Gordon had to play that backup center position. And, it just wasn't pretty, man. They were giving up a lot of runs. Offensive rebounding was still a problem a little bit today. Today, the Nuggets had 49 rebounds and 11 offensive rebounds to the Timberwolves 37 and 8. But again, the Timberwolves were playing small. The Timberwolves had 7 blocks and 10 steals today. 7 blocks and 10 steals. The Nuggets had 17 turnovers and 26 assists. That is not the Denver Nuggets. That is not the Denver Nuggets. That is not the Denver Nuggets. What happened? What happened with anyway, I'm covering that after. Somebody got something on John Morant. Anyway, but y'all, so some of this is the Denver Nuggets just did not seem to be able to take advantage of the moment. And they got the win. That's the most important thing. They got the win. But y'all, they're not getting this win without Jokic and Porter. Like, Porter has been on a tear, y'all. He has been insane since the All-Star break. Mike Porter Jr., the question somebody's asking, I'm not asking it. Michael Porter Jr., people, has he been the second best player for the Denver Nuggets? Has he been the second best player for the Denver Nuggets since the All-Star break? I don't think so. So the Nuggets are what? They're 12 and 2. Let me see. True. Michael Porter Jr. since the All-Star break. Oh, my Lord. No, I might tweet this out. Y'all. I might tweet this out. Oh, Michael Porter Jr. Everybody gear up. Michael Porter Jr. since the All-Star break is averaging 20.4 points per game, 1.6 assists per game, 7.3 rebounds per game, 0.8 steals per game, 0.6 blocks per game. He's shooting 54.8% from the field, 43.6% from 3 on 7.2 attempts a game, 92% from the free throw line. And Porter is a +104, and he has a true shooting of 67.9. Wow. Y'all, that is incredible. 20.4, 7.3 on 67.9% true shooting. That is incredible. That is insane, y'all. Remember, he had a 23-game stretch after Murray went out that he was incredible. And Joker's right there with him. Joker since the All-Star break averaging 25.8, 13.1, 9.0 assists, 1.6 steals, a block a game, shooting 60% from the field, 36% from 3, and 88% from the free throw line. He's a +182, though. That's insane. He's a plus 182, but he has a 66.6% true shooting. Yo, like, that's nuts. They are both going off. And then Jamal Murray, let's see what Jamal Murray's been since the All-Star break. Let me check in on this. Jamal Murray since the All-Star break. And he's only played 13 games, 59% true shooting. Again, kind of be expected given where he's anchoring the second unit, but he's averaging 22.1, 7.5 assists, 1.4 steals. He's shooting 49.6% from the field. That's really good. 17 shots a game, 49.6% from the field. He's shooting 44.6% from three, and he's shooting 86% from the line, and he's a plus 90. So you got your point guard averaging 22 and 7. You have your small forward averaging 20 and 7 on a 67 true shooting. And then you have your MVP who's likely going to win his third MVP this year, averaging 26, 13, and 9 on a 66 true shooting. So this is what I mean, y'all. Like, the Nuggets are, like, they're messing around a little bit, but they're balling. They're balling. And I know today was frustrating. And I also was sitting here, you know, I have my computer laid out. A lot of y'all know my process. I got my computer laid out when I'm watching the game. I'm taking notes. Put notes on every possession. So every single time the Nuggets play, I have almost every bucket because I just want to make sure I want to track what happened here, who made this, what the shot was, what the situation was, like randomly, y'all. So I have, and this is in the second quarter, Jokic comes back into the game and 8:29 left. So does Anthony Edwards. At that point in time, the Wolves had scored 14 points off of turnovers, and the Nuggets had just scored 2. And then MPJ and Jokic come back in the game, and they immediately start making shots. So this is what I track. And so the fact that you have – so I'm frustrated, but at the same time, I'm watching Porter and Jokic in the fourth quarter. I'm like, dang, bro, this is why. This is why they do this. Because they just know more times than you can, we're going to get here. And this is the regular season. In the playoffs, and I said this already, but in the playoff, I said the Nuggets, the reason why they're going to be so good in the playoffs, it's not that they're performing at a playoff level, but it's because some of this was the Denver Nuggets, when they get in this situation, they are always in playoff mode because they're in the clutch all the time, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating. So that's definitely like it's not comfortable to be in that situation. So I understand why everybody gets frustrated with it. But again, I'm trying to tell y'all, dude, like they're in this situation so often that it's like for them, it's like sleep. It's air. So if they get down, they're like, all right, well, I guess we gotta hunt them down again, or I guess we gotta hold them off again. That's just how they operate. Again, it's not fun. It's like fun when they win, but you saw that the other game versus the Mavericks. Again, it took some insane shot making from Kyrie and from Luka for them to get that victory. It took some insane shot making from Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal to get that victory. And today, Jaden McDaniels, Mike Conley, they made back-to-back three-pointers. Anthony Edwards didn't score in the fourth quarter. It was Jaden McDaniels with Mike Conley, back-to-back three-pointers. That's what it took. But again, that's just like the Nuggets, man. They just. I hope it's not arrogance. I don't think it's arrogance. For me, it doesn't feel like arrogance. It just feels that last year, remember, they went 8-10 down the stretch of the last 18 games of the year. They just kind of punted away the rest of the season because they're like, well, we're already 7 games ahead in the 1 seed. We don't really need to do anything else. And the Nuggets are like, they're toning down right now. They've been toning down the last couple games. They got the Knicks coming up, but they tone down in the game. Because the thing is, again, if they play, you've seen them at their apex at this point, and they just gear down. They just gear down, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating. But it happened. But again, the Nuggets shot well today. They shot 52% from the field. They shot 52% from three. The problem is that they also shot 17-22 from the free throw line, but the Wolves, they were 16-23 from the free throw line. The Wolves got 42 made baskets today as well. They just made 2 less three-pointers and 1 less free throw, and that was the game. 2 less three-pointers, 1 less free throw. The Wolves were chucking up three-pointers today because, you know, they had opportunities to do so. They're trying to get back in the game. So it's just really it's really, really, really frustrating. And I think the Nuggets had a clutch game that they lost to the Suns. They had a clutch game they lost to the Mavs. They got this incident. Obviously, they had the game where Shea made the game winner over Peyton Watson. I mean, they've had all these situations they've been in, and they're all like explainable. It's just the Nuggets are just in a situation where, they just decide they want to do this sometime. Got another super chat. Shout out to you, MQ Retrolight. Shout out to you. Wolves are them, but their fans need to calm down. But hey, look, it's a divisional matchup, y'all. I told y'all this is Raiders Broncos. It's a divisional matchup. They want to win. They want to win. They want to win, and they were standing up. And I'll give a shout out to Minnesota. Their fans, when they got back in the game in the third quarter, they did not sit down. They did not sit down. That's incredible. They were locked in today, so I'm very happy for them. I want Karl Anthony Towns to get back. I want Rudy. I want everybody to be fully there, fully healthy, because I want them to get their shot in the playoff. They deserve it. Those fans have been through a lot. They have not done anything of significance in that conference at a fan base because they just haven't had a chance to win anything. Beyond that 1 year from KG when they, went to the conference finals and lost, they just haven't had it. And so this is their best opportunity they've had ever, possibly. So definitely want them to be healthy, man. But they stood up and they showed out today, and they absolutely gave the Denver Nuggets a world of trouble from just the way they were engaged in the game and all that kind of stuff. But also, I want to give a shout out to the Minnesota Timberwolves announcers too. They noted that they feel like Jokic should be on his way to 4 straight MVP. They noted that Jokic should be on the way to his 4 straight MVP. So, I mean, they recognize game recognized game, but they're really just a really, really, really solid team, man. And I'm really, really excited to see what they do for the rest of the season. The Nuggets have them 2 more times. They got them on the 29th, and they got them on April 10th, I believe. So they're going to be some really, really tough games. There's going to be some really tough games for them. It's going to be some bloodbaths. But again, that's just a divisional game, and I think that's the kind of stuff that it takes. So it's going to be a lot of fun, man. I'm really excited. Shout out to the Nuggets for getting the win. Again, not a pretty win at all in any way, shape, or form. But we'll see what happens from that. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share the content. Let the people know where you like getting some of your favorite NBA content. There's 960 people in here right now. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Go to the page, go to the channel, lock in. Y'all know what time it is. Swipe again. I'll see y'all on the other side.